Do you guys hear me? Let's see. Can somebody please write something? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me check if we are live. I have so many tabs open, it's crazy. Okay, 1 second. Nobody's writing today, so I'm not sure. Okay. All right. I think we are live. Okay, good. So today is a super important topic. So if nobody's going, I may need to skip it for the day. I'm a little bit late as I've been preparing the content. So let's wait for some people to join first because yeah, today's topic is way too important. uh, it's extremely convoluted because there's so many moving parts, and if you don't have the audience, we may need to skip today. Um, so while I'm waiting, what I wanted to discuss, and we may need to relay this for the next week, in which case we may need to cut it short today if nobody comes over. Um, the topic of the exit, right? Some of you guys have been asking this question. Some of you guys have been thinking about it and asking this openly. The question of how, like, what do I do with my GMV, essentially? Like, what is the deal? And perhaps the best thing for me at the moment is just to go over the current design. Um, and there are some ways how the current design can be upgraded significantly. And maybe that's what we'll discuss. And then after this, we'll pause because I just don't see too many people joining today. So what we have is we have a GMV token. The GMV token, let me just start writing maybe. Yeah. Okay. So the GMV token. So now this GMV token is live on many, many, many chains, 20 plus chains right here. That's great. At this point of time, we can only take the main nets. We cannot take test nets. The test nets is still under consideration. We may take them at the end, but most likely we won't, right? Because users have to spend actual fees, gas fees, to mint. Otherwise, if it was test Ethereum to mint something, then maybe it's just not fair compared to somebody who spent back in the day around $20 to mint an Ethereum NFT GMO. So those JVs that you guys earned from off-chain activities such as Twitter, inviting friends on Telegram bots, writing messages in the main group and stuff like that. Um, that's off-chain. Commenting on YouTube videos as well, you earn some GMV tokens off-chain, points off-chain. Those points then get swapped for the GMV token. Okay, that's cool. You can also earn GMV token directly on-chain by inviting your friends to mint a GML NFT using your referral link, and your public wallet is your referral link. And you get GMVs earned on chain automatically. So both of those get added up essentially together as your collateral, and then you can swap it, right? So those GMVs, based on the current design, you can swap these GMVs for the Ghost coin, right? The Ghost coin will be obviously inside of Ghost chain. Um, Once the swap takes place, you essentially get on the Ghost chain, inside of the Ghost chain, you get this Ghost coin, and then you can do what? Since it's used as gas inside of the Ghost chain, you can of course go ahead and stake it because Ghost coin is the native coin of the network. So you can stake it You can be receiving validator rewards. You can be receiving gas fees, essentially as rewards, right? So that what validators are, and that's what you guys doing currently as validators. You are attempting to run nodes, and it's important to run nodes now. What would I get for running nodes? I'm spending electricity, which is not really, but sure you do. But it's not like Bitcoin level electricity. The reason why it's important to run Bitcoin nodes today is um, because unless you're able to run the network, the code now, it may be so much more difficult to do this once the mainnet is around. Right now, you can make mistakes. Now you can put your private keys into the GitHub repository. Now you can do all types of errors. Some of those errors are critical. Um, right, will be critical when it comes down to the mainnet. If you do that stuff on the mainnet, um, your funds could be stolen. Your funds could be retrieved, extracted. Not, it's not the team. It's just like anybody who has access to it, right? With the private key can just steal your freaking funds. So you do it now for practice. And if you think, oh, it's easy, I'll just do it later. Sure, but the risk is going to be always on you. The risk is always on you. This is the best practice you can possibly think of, where you make mistakes, nothing happens to you, it's testnet. Then with all the mistakes learned, you then kind of proceed further. Um, uh, Something I mentioned on the previous call, I would like to mention this again. There's this myth, there's this idea that the team will magically fix shit, all mistakes, and that's a really bad idea to think like that, because that's not the responsibility of the team. The responsibility of the team is only to build the code base. That's it, just the code base. The code base is there. As far as implementation of the code base, deployment of the code base, even the DevOps, like placing everything onto the repository, is not the requirement of the team. The team is only building the code. So deployment, spreading the word, maintaining the community, let alone customer support. Like the fact that some members of the team are super super helping. That's great. Um, but of course, you need to figure out the guides are extremely thorough, and you need to get yourself up to speed with those guides. And then there's of course this thought process, like, well, the guides are too complicated for me, or let's make it easier for me. Um, Here's the thing, just kind of my personal view. These, like, if these guides are difficult, um, you don't know what, like, you just don't know what's going to happen soon. uh, when Ghost DAO is going to launch, if you guys read the light paper on Ghost DAO, you can find this on the website. Just look through the game theory, etc. And then there are some like, I mean, the formulas for the Ghost DAO, essentially the same formulas as for Olympus DAO, are visible, they're public. But there are lots of variables that nobody has any access to. And those variables are set by the DAO of the Ghost DAO, or by the DAO of the Olympus DAO. And to understand that high level math, including game theory, yeah, it's 5 formulas, I get it. But how these 5 formulas play together when you are dealing with supply of DAI, supply of eGhost, supply of sGhost, supply of Ghost token, and then you have to figure this out on multiple chains, right? And that has to be done super fast, sometimes within a day, to make sure that the original launch of Olympus DAO, therefore Ghost DAO, does not fail, right? Like if you think that copying and pasting the commands is difficult and the commands are extremely straightforward, um, just watch, right? And I'm not trying to say that it's not difficult. Like I'm not technical. Like for example, person A is not technical. Of course, for person A it's difficult. But the vision should be this. The vision should not be like, oh, it's difficult and that's it. The vision should be, I need to learn fast. The community of Ghost Whales gives me this amazing opportunity to learn fast. Right? That's how we should be switching the frame. It's very important to work with your brain. It's extremely important. So the frame change has to be, it's easy. Like, black screen is difficult. I'm extremely terrified. How the fuck do I learn? Because if you learn the black screen, you're all of a sudden now a much more comfortable user with Ghost and with other blockchains as well. Spoke to somebody, not going to be naming too many things, but spoke to somebody this week. That somebody is operating a node of a public blockchain. But since he's not technical, uh, he has to allocate 90% of the profits to the developer who is running the node. Of course, I'm not sure what the split of the stake is. Maybe it is 10%, 90%, in which case it's fair. Something is telling me it's not 10%, 90%. Something is telling me it's 50-50. But the developer who is able to copy paste the commands takes the lion's share of the profits at 90%. And the guy is left with 10%, waiting to be fucked by the developer. Literally waiting to be fucked by him. Right? So just an ability to open a black screen and copy paste the commands. Is it scary? Of course it's scary, especially if you're not technical. It's absolutely freaking scary. But if you're a champ, if you really want to learn, you need to learn. This is still basic. Trust me. Compared to what is coming, it's basic. Um, should it be overcomplicated? Well, yeah, it should be overcomplicated. Then the team can just run everything themselves. Uh, why does the community need it? Right? We need to understand the community is not a robot who, you know, who just, oh, I'm here. Because what's the difference between a robot who does not understand anything? Like, what's the difference between a virtual server, I don't know, in, I don't know, in a country, like in a European country, in Latin America, in the US, and a person with a machine or a person with a server who has no idea what he's doing? What's the difference there? Right? The reason why Ethereum is so great, as far as market cap, people can say, "Oh, it's not scalable, this and that." Like, yes, so many fucking developers, and these developers have been instrumental to develop the entire ecosystem of development products. So the devs, the nerds, jumped onto it and made it what it is today. It was able to attract the nerds, the devs, the technical people, the mathematicians, the tokenomic people, the biz dev people, the marketing people, everybody. Um, Together to build this ecosystem. And of course, that happened because everybody was proactive, or lots of people were proactive. So for us, same exact situation. The Ghost, and I think Cosmos, I like this recent post of his in the whales. Like, we are as strong as the community. Like, you have to understand it. And the community has to have talents pertaining to making the Ghost ecosystem stronger. That's it, right? Like, if you are, I don't know, if you are an engineer, but you are a civil engineer and you build bridges, and you do have the skill to become instrumental for the ghost chain by writing the node, telling your friends, etc. But you're not using that. You're not very instrumental for the ghost technologies, like right, like this is like logical thing. So here we have to become stronger together. We're really trying to be stronger together. And what I see personally through we have I think almost 30 applications for the testnet of Ghost. Um, I mean, it's way above at this point of time, way above my expectations. We thought that 30 we would get 30 nodes, like at some point of time, closer to the mainnet, but we're already at 30. Nobody's running more than one node yet. At least those who do, we're not counting them yet. Uh, we're not counting new members that we are all going to invite. So it's like the community, I think, is taking it absolutely positively. The Ghost Whales, and I would love to thank you guys for this. Like, it's insanely great what you guys doing. And we need to do it more. We just need to kick ass more, right? So hope that it's going to be, even more, how to say, even more intricate, right? We should not be hoping that this should be easy. Why? Um, like the easiness should apply to the elegance of ideas, but when it comes down to the actual details of anything, the details should be requiring somewhat expertise, right? Not 100% depth in expertise, but of course, like if you do not understand electricity at all, like we all use electricity, but we don't understand it. We can be a user of electricity. We can be using a device of electricity, but we are not users of Ghost. We are innovators of Ghost, right? So then imagine those electricians who understand how electricity works, who understand how not to get fucking burned, right? When, screwing the bulb or whatever, like, or like fixing something, right? An electrical circuit. Like they definitely understand it because they're working with it. But we say, no, 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 but electricity is so easy. We should be users of it. Um, well, no, that's not true. And like also think about it. Electricity is so freaking easy. Um, do you tell your friends about every single electrical device, like every single lamp you buy? You don't, right? Uh, but electrical guys, like the electricians, they probably, have communities. They discuss those things, and they are the early innovators behind, certain devices. I'm not talking about phones, iPhones. I'm talking about like, lamps and I don't know, some machinery, some enterprise stuff. Of course, you need some expertise there to spread the word. So same thing here. Like we definitely should think about ourselves more as above average blockchain crypto user for sure when we are dealing with Ghost. And you know, there could be resistance mentally, like I just don't want to do it, which I completely don't understand. Because why wouldn't you? If you want to stay in the space, you need to understand the space more, and the community enables you this. Why are you resisting? So that's like, for those resisting, I really don't understand them. Um, because maybe they just don't believe in the project, in which case, why the fuck are you wasting my time? Um, but if you do believe in the project, then of course it is important to learn as much as you can, especially if you are enabled to learn that. So by the community. And it gives you a better sense of whom should be invited because there are lots of people who just don't want to learn anymore. They are complacent. They're okay with where they are. And it's impossible to innovate with, with an average community. Right? We either have an above average community or we die. That's simple as that. Like there's no other scenario. Like if we are an average community, we get average results. Average results for crypto is death. Absolute fucking death. Right? For us to be top 100 projects, we have to be top 100 communities. Think about it like this. Maybe that will help. That will be helpful. And so far, I think whales do get it. I think whales absolutely get it, and we need to just kind of push this message across further. Mr. IDK can be done. I've never dealt with coding before, and I've never been able to do it. As we said, it hasn't been easy, but it can be done. Encourage everybody you can learn, and that's exactly like Mr. IDK in particular. Like if I'm to single somebody out, like I am aware Mr. IDK is completely non-technical, no technical experience whatsoever, like zero. But the audacity to fucking move forward is like applauded. Like, and that's what the all of us should be thinking about. Like, and I know guys, in the African region, I know electricity is a problem. I know getting devices is a problem, but the audacity for moving forward applies to everything. If you really want to spread the project further, you need to get the devices. You need to get access to electricity. I don't know, like do it legally, obviously, but like anyway, like we all like lots of us are traveling too. How to create a traveling safe? I don't know how to say that. Uh, travel specific device that you can travel with, or maybe maybe you just have the device at home and then you operate this through the SSH, or maybe you buy a VPS server and then operate this through a VPS. And we may have a lot of nodes, each of us. So how to do that? So um, so yeah, so this is kind of the right mindset. The right mindset is to figure shit out. We becoming stronger, the community becoming stronger, the project will become stronger. That chain of events will be just you know unchangeable. Yeah. So the invincible logic. So going back, so now you have Ghost chain, and you are swapping that for Ghost coin inside of the Ghost chain, which you can stake, and you can stake this by being a validator. And that's why it's important again to become a validator as soon as possible, because otherwise you will time it to do it right before the mainnet, and you will lose your fucking coins. 50% of you guys will lose the coins, including us, everybody, right? And there will be no solution after that. So you either start today, or you putting yourself at massive risk. Then after this, what do you do with that ghost coin? So that ghost coin, right? That ghost coin inside of ghost chain, then can be swapped for the ghost DAO if you desire to do so. And once it's swapped for Ghost DAO, you can then essentially go ahead and change it back for a stablecoin if stablecoin will be back in the Ghost DAO, which, well, Tether is here, but probably not. So it's probably going to be DAI. It's not going to be Sky, it's going to be DAI, I think. But we're still, going through the designs and stuff. So that's essentially your exit. That's your current exit. Um, at this point of time, I don't think like too many people watching us today. We came a little bit late as well, but the topic is way too important for me to kind of to expand on regarding a potential new route number two, and the differences between Route One and Route Two. So. At this point of time, I would like to pause. If you guys have any questions, please ask me questions. We will continue next time with Route 2 and then how Route 1 compares to Route 2. And the suggestion is to only enable Route 2. Currently, based on the council proposal, we can do either Route 1 or Route 2 for all council members. I think it has been approved unanimously from those who voted. But there's a huge differentiation between Route 1 and Route 2. Route 2 is, it seems like a lot more beneficial for the project at large. So would like to explain that. But again, it's a super complicated, sophisticated matter. Lots of moving parts involved. It will require time and it will require you guys to ask questions as you go. So any questions at the moment? If not, let's pause. It's been a very, very short call. See you guys next week, I guess, since we have no questions yet. Everybody, kudos. We are again up to 30 applications and more. This is the best time to start finding out how Ghost works. This is the best time to invite your network, your whales. You know how to invite them based on the proposal. Do that as soon as you can.